Recording in progress. Is that what it said?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hate that stuff. All right, how's it going, boys?
Going good, man.
All not getting out.
You guys all had a good day?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Good. It's good, man. What I know Noah studied all day. Tristan, you had to work at your other job, and then Andrew, you got to make some dials.
Yeah, 100,
Legit.
130 some dials today. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
There you go, dude. So we're all back from the Monteith boot camp workshop, whatever you want to call it. I just want to talk to you guys kind of about the experience you guys had. So, Andrew, what do you think the biggest takeaway? Colin's here now. What do you think the biggest takeaway is that you had from the workshop?
I could go all day. And I'm not exaggerating. But I think for me it was I think it finally clicked in my head, especially Tuesday, getting out of the employee mindset, and not looking at this as a job, but not looking at it and treating it as a job, but more of an opportunity, and really treating it like an opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was probably, if I had to say anything, if I had to combine it all together, that's what it was. It was definitely a mindset.
So ditching the W-2 mindset. Okay, man. And Tristan, what was your biggest takeaway from that?
Again, like Andrew said, I could go on all day, but I think it really proves that the system works. You get to go to this boot camp, meet all these awesome, successful people, and you get that association factor, one of those four cornerstones that we always talk about.
How much did the event cost?
Just a plane ticket. That's all it costed.
You mean a training to make you better was free? Like
Free.
You're telling me someone from Symmetry did not charge you a penny to come learn from them?
Not a penny, man.
Hold on. Not just someone from Symmetry either. Tristan Monteith himself.
Whoa, you're telling me
Yeah.
a 120 in the company, someone who's got a little bankroll,
Yeah.
took the time out of his day to make your guys' lives better.
Yes, sir.
Whoa.
That's a beautiful thing about Symmetry, man. You can tell that every upline wants to just make you successful, help you out as much as they can.
And I'll touch on that. Noah, what was your biggest takeaway, man?
So I really think above all else, like it's so easy to get caught up and stuck in your daily life when you're sitting at home and you're dialing, or you're sitting at home and you feel like you're alone, but then you go to this boot camp and all these people are going through the same problems, the same struggles, the mental speed bumps. Like everybody is going through the same exact thing, just in different places. And then you get a chance to talk to all these crazy successful people, and they want to help you. Everybody there wants to help everybody. I was intrigued the whole time. It was awesome. I took insane amount of notes, and I know I'm new to this. Just going to this boot camp made me feel so secure. And dude, Symmetry is awesome. Everybody there they just want to help, man. It's awesome.
That's good, man. And Colin, what was your biggest takeaway, dude? What was your favorite part of this little
You guys hear me good with these? I left my earbuds at home. Sorry. Honestly, man, like I've been thinking about it a lot too, how much it affected me, because I really do feel like, 5 days ago, I wasn't the same person I am today. And I guess it was a lot of doubts that I may have had, like subconsciously, were just kind of crushed. Because you get to see people in real life, and there's nothing more solidifying than that. I mean, you can read Symmetry, reviews, you can watch Symmetry videos all day long, but until you actually see it for yourself in real life, it's tangible enough for me to commit to something, you know, and to see that in person, watching Carlton sell $10,000 of business and 3 appointments, 4 appointments, whatever, writing $12,000 a day, whatever he did, Holly setting 9 appointments in an hour, like the kind of stuff that you don't believe, and you get to see it in real life. I mean, there's nothing more. There's no more proof needed. You know, you get to see it in real life. So that was probably one of the biggest takeaways was something to believe in now. I mean, you can't not believe in it once you see it in real life. So
You see a
probably
lot.
the best thing I can say.
No, I'm glad you brought that up, man. So, do you guys, we'll just go around the horn. Do you guys feel like there's a big disconnect just coming here completely virtual, like not going to those events or like it?
Yeah. I'll go real quick because I talked to you about that a little bit when I was there.
Like there was just a big disconnect between a screen like right here
Yeah.
until we all met each other for the first time. And obviously a lot of emotions and lives were changed going in the matter of what, 3 days, 4 days?
Well, at the event, 2 days. I mean, we've spent time outside of the event that was, you know, shaped our relationship better, but just to go to an event for 2 days. I worked as an electrician for 6 years, and anytime there was an event like hey, we got to get together for a meeting, you know, all the trades are getting together, you go with your buddy and you hide in the corner, and then everyone goes in their little niches, and they, you know, they don't talk and they don't communicate with anyone else because they know what they know, and they're comfortable with where they're at, and they don't want to go find new people or meet anyone else or learn anything new. And that was the same for all the meetings I ever went to. And for this, it was like you walk into this room with like 20, 25 people. I don't know how many people there were, probably around 20. Don't know any of them. And then by the end of the day,
over 30. Yeah.
30. Okay. Yeah. I don't remember, but there was a decent amount of people that, you know, I'd never met any of them before. And 3 hours later, it was like half the people in there were people that I know my whole life. And it was just like this mutual understanding between all of us, what we were there to do. And yeah, I've never seen that anywhere else before.
I think
Awesome, man.
I want to say something real quick. And it's something that I talked about even with my family when I came back home, but it was what really blew my mind, even kind of going with on the back of what Colin said, but sitting in a room with people who do write 20, 30, almost 40 grand a month, and being a new agent 2 months in, sitting in the same room with these people, and it was a truly judgment-free zone. There's no judgment, there was no belittling, there was no, you know, ego. It was just some of the most humble people that I've ever been around. And it not only in a job environment, but an environment in general. It was the most humble people, loving, supportive group of people I think that I've probably ever been around. And these are people who are writing 20, 30, almost 40 grand a month.
Right.
You know?
And someone like Noah, and we're all new, but Noah is obviously the newest. He was, I don't know how many days, 5 days since you had quit your job or left your other job and
Yeah,
came to this thing. And you can go up and talk to Carlton there or Keyshawn or Wade, any of them, and they would just treat you as though you had been in their agency for since it started, you know. And I thought that was huge. I talked to Carlton in the line for getting snacks, and I was so scared because I was waiting for it to be like that classic, you know, he's one guy in this room, and then we're outside of the room, the meeting room. He didn't care about anyone else, but he was the same guy. You know, he talked to me like a friend.
I'll be honest, I'm actually pretty envious of Carl. He's a huge man of God. I mean, I've heard some of his story, but how authentic he is. Like I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Like, I'm comfortable enough to say like I'm jealous. I've been reading a little bit more different kind of books just to put myself in those same sort of shoes.
And watching him on the phone talking to people, it was like this big
goofy
realization.
too, man. He's goofy.
Yeah, and that's good for him because it works. And it was just like watching him talk on the phone. There was never a moment where he was like, I got to read this script and I got to redirect this person to do this. And one, here, I wrote it down earlier actually, because I thought it was huge and it was so subtle that I'm not sure if everyone really realized it. And I'm not saying I was like special for catching it, but I just liked it a lot. I can't find it. My notes are unorganized, but it was basically, him building his rapport in the beginning of the call. And then you're just waiting. How is he going to transition this conversation into, selling them something? And he never did. What he did though was he said, they finished telling their little story and he says, already, I got something to ask you though. No, I have to ask you something. And you're expecting, here it is, here it comes. And they're expecting it too. He's going to start selling them. And he just asked a question related to whatever story they were telling. He's just genuinely curious about their situation or their story that they told him, whatever it was about. And he never redirected the conversation in a forced way ever. It was always just like, at some point, it just kind of naturally fell into place, and he never once forced his hand.
And you know why he did that?
Did what? The rapport building, or
do you know why he's like that? A lot of it is just his faith, but yeah, he cares. But that's just a mindset thing in this industry. The moment you care about doing what's best for somebody else without expecting anything in return, that's integrity.
Yeah,
that's called impact for income.
When the right
you're helping protect their family's livelihood. In return, they're putting food on your table for your family. Just keep that in mind. Tristan, what about you, man?
I mean, all these guys are making really good points. And just I'll, follow it up with what Wade did for me, Andrew, and Colin. Him and his wife were setting an appointment. It was, I think, 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and they invited us into their hotel room just to let us watch like how good they are at what they do. I think Wade has almost an 80% show rate with his appointments, and we got to go up there, take notes, and even after it was over, they just talked to us like people. We had like a 30-40 minute conversation with them. It was just incredible to me. Nothing in this company so far. No, you're good, man.
They actually canceled it. They were a no-show, and they, at that point it was like, okay, well, they could easily just be like, all right, well, sorry guys, there was a no-show, and kind of kick us out of the room, because that's their private area. It wasn't like a conference area. And what they ended up doing was, all right, well, we'll just kind of tell you why that just happened or what you can do to avoid that happening. And it was constantly.
Is that what he did?
Exactly. Yeah, I was sitting on his bed eating a salad, and I was like, I don't think I should be here. This is his bed. I kind of felt bad after the fact, but he didn't ever, they never looked at us like, these weird kids who you never met them before. They're in our room. They just welcomed us in and taught us as much as they could. Even though they had no appointment to have us run through and see, they still turned it into an experience that we could learn a little bit.
Yep.
And Noah, what about you, buddy?
Well, yeah, that and Tim too at the very beginning when we had just got there Monday and we didn't really have anything going on. We were going to do live dialing before Tim did it officially with everybody. And then we had sat down with him and he talked about later how nervous he was. And I mean, he was totally cool with us sitting next to him and listening in. And then we were asking him questions in between calls. And I'm sure there was no pushback at all. He was always 100% accepting. He was like, yeah, guys come over here. And he was like explaining everything. There's not 1 second of like, oh, I kind of like I want to do these calls on my own. I want to be dialing, kind of on my own. I get in my zone.
They're very vulnerable and open. That's my favorite part of it all, is that you guys got to witness and notice that, because that's something I saw in the first 15 minutes I was there last time. And like what Wade did for you guys, I'm super appreciative of. Wade is the whole reason this happened. If I would have never talked to him, I'd have probably never known what Kashawn was like, or Carlton. Like a lot of us wouldn't be exposed to that. You guys got to realize, like, one decision can really reshape your whole ending, just in life in general.
Yeah.
So did you guys see any areas that could really be like improved, or maybe what you wanted to see more of at the boot camp? I thought it was very well rounded for me, but just from new agents who haven't ever been to a company event, like, you see any major areas for improvement on that?
Honestly,
Really
when
not major.
on his story about how he went to he went to a company thing like that, and never really clicked for him, but he goes to one, and then he has great success there, and it automatically clicks. It's done. He finds what he wants to do, and he loves doing it. And look where he's at now. I mean, he's huge in the company. He's making a killing. Like, it's all it takes is all these people who are only virtual don't go to these meetings. I think they're really hurting themselves, because I'm new. I still don't know much, but I mean, just going to this meeting alone.
No, that's a good point. In all honesty, I agree with you, because we had Danny Young on one of our calls. I don't know if you guys have seen that, where he report, like, people that don't go to events like conference, they typically don't make it here. Not
Yeah.
saying people can't, but they don't tend to stick around as much. They never really, not necessarily buy in, but really find themselves aligning with the Symmetry vision or anything like that. So good point, Noah. I didn't really hear too much else. I heard someone say there wasn't.
I was just saying, I didn't see anything majorly that need to be improved upon. If anything, it was like extended a couple days, you know, like that would be the most major change.
Make it a week.
You make it longer. Yeah.
That would have been dope.
I mean, we were there, and I got to say this. I know I talk about it all the time, but there's so many like complete polar opposites for my last industry that I worked in that are the huge reason why I'm here. And one of them being, I had to work 12-hour days. I had to work 16-hour days, and it sucked every time. Like, I don't care who was there, what we were doing, if there was a pizza party, whatever, it sucked. It just sucked. And, you know, we were there for 12 hours plus both days in a row. And you walk out of the room and it's like 7 o'clock, and you're like, where did the whole day go? And you just, instead of being like, oh man, I can't wait to get back to the hotel, which none of us wanted to go back to the hotel, but it was like, I can't wait to come back tomorrow, you know, and I don't want it to end yet. So it was like something I've never experienced before as far as, you know, work goes, because it didn't feel like work. It was just like
The moment people stop calling this a job and start treating it like a business and calling it a lifestyle, they'll always have an employee mindset.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
that was the big change.
oh, I just work at Symmetry. No, this is your own little piece of financial freedom here, guys.
And I think
there's not many places where you can go in America and start a business for under $500 and it be completely yours, that you can actually hand down to your family, build generational wealth, and still leave a legacy that lives on.
Yeah.
One piece of training I think I would have appreciated as a new guy coming in would have been just a little bit of practice on filling out different like carrier applications and stuff, because watching like Carlton Lear, when he started an appointment, he didn't have any of the client's medical information, and he would get it right there, and in 10 minutes he would show them 3 different options with 3 different carriers. And you know, we do have a lot of resources with like game planning different mornings, but to be able to set an appointment in the morning without any medical info, and then at night be able to get that appointment and do everything on that same call would just be awesome.
That's something you learn on the fly here. But
Right. Yeah.
That's why we have the Google Drive, though. You're always
Yes.
go in there and study those if you want. But remember, this business is 5% product knowledge, 95% activity.
Yep.
And I will say this, 2 months, and I started going to the game planning meetings as soon as I started taking the pre-licensing, and I took notes.
Yep.
And I would, you know, and like Mason was saying, that's something that you learn here, and it is, because, you know, I haven't sat down with many families, but just hearing the game planning, you start to
Kind of make those
remember-
connections.
make those connections, and you start to remember carriers for different
Health
diseases.
impairments. Yeah.
Health
Foresters
impairments.
is awesome for diabetics.
Mhm.
John Hancock gives instant decision.
Yeah,
Has to be allowed for instant issue for super healthy people. Yeah, there's, and we have the Excel spreadsheet of like different health questions that tell
Yeah.
you which carrier you can use. So
But yeah, taking
That's a
notes
good
is always
point, Bill.
super important. Yep.
I did want to add to something that really, the whole 2 days blew my mind, but it wasn't, the whole boot camp wasn't just about how to be a better agent. It was how to be a better person in general.
Self-improvement. Yep.
well, you guys understand where the name Symmetry comes in. It's supposed to be balanced.
It's
Both
balance.
sides.
And it was like, it wasn't just, I don't know, it wasn't a whole facade on how to make more money and how to be a better agent for Symmetry. And it was
Well,
genuinely,
that's because the founders of the company understand that at the end of the day, who we are as insurance agents will never be as important as who we are as people.
right.
Meaning there's a lot of public successes and private failures out there, meaning someone's got money on the outside, but you look into their life and it's in shambles. Behind closed doors, they're an abusive father or a terrible husband.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of that. There's 44 million millionaires. Not a big percentage of them are probably not the best people in the world. I'm a straight shooter. I'll keep it real with you guys. So just keep that in mind. We have something phenomenal here. That's why our culture, like I came here for the money and stayed for the culture. And now you guys get a little bit of a piece of that and saw how people treat you here. Like, dude, there's people in other IMOs and like our competitors, people coming over here weekly. You hear about it on the national calls. Like they've got text messages and stuff from all kinds of captive agents, people from other IMOs who don't offer contracts. And like, keep in mind, like our leads are exclusive to us. There's
Yeah.
people over in other IMOs who have 10 agents calling the same lead.
Mhm.
You're constantly worried about getting chargebacks. Like you're having to, I don't care if you're submitting 90,000 in a month. Like for one, a lot of that's fluff because it's not getting issued. If your business isn't getting issued, that's not helping a family and that's not helping your bankroll for one.
Or your reputation.
No, I don't even know what you're doing. It's not good for the carrier. They're paying out all these commissions, wasting money on someone who's not profitable. And there's agents that have to spend $15,000 a month on leads, 12 grand a month on leads just to make $4 grand in profits the whole month. I can spend $3,000 a month here at Symmetry on leads and have 10, 15,000 in profits.
Yep.
So, and just keep in mind what you guys like. This is going to be a household brand very soon. I would not doubt that. So, do you guys feel like you feel pretty changed after going to like an in-person event? Like, do you
yeah.
notice like something different?
Yeah, nothing like I've felt before. And I'm at my buddy's house. And I came over here to tell him about it, to tell him about the call and the conference and the boot camp. And I didn't have enough time, so I didn't get to go home and get my headphones because I was so caught up in talking to him about it, and just how my life was. And the funny thing is, and this might make one of you guys laugh, but I haven't made a dime at Symmetry yet. I haven't. I've been waiting on my contracts and stuff, and I submitted some business on myself, and I closed some appointments with David and stuff, but I haven't made a dime yet. And I know that it's my fault. It's not anyone else's problem because I just didn't do enough activity to get that money in my bank account.
You're all still brand new.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, and to have someone come in, it almost seems like, we got brainwashed, but I hate to say that because it was all a choice that we made. It was nobody forced us. You offered to pay for my ticket to go out there, and I was like, well, I don't want to have to owe anyone. So I chose to buy it myself. No one forced me to do anything. No one forced anyone of us here to do anything. And I think, and outside of Symmetry, outside of everything, just me as a person is what's changed, in the course of a few days. And I don't know, where else can you go to have that happen to you and it be real and not just, you're fluffing yourself up in your brain. It's actually tangibly, it's proving. I have proof just in the way I do things now and the way I approach every situation. Normally at the airport, I had a delay, and normally a month ago, I'm freaking out. I'm going to be very upset about it. I'm going to let it eat at me all day long. And I had a delay. I think all of us did. But I was like, oh, cool. Now I can sit on the national call. Now I can sit at the airport and watch the national call. And they're long. And I'll say they're the first to say they're kind of long. And normally I will admit I was on them for most of the time. And then I'm like, oh man, this thing's taking forever. But it was something changed, and I was at the airport and I sat on the entire national call. And when it ended, I was a little upset. I was like, damn, I had a little more time to absorb some more knowledge, and it ended. So just that right there told me like something's different now,
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, man. I was hoping you wouldn't break up the flight thing. Like I didn't want you guys to say anything about me getting the hotels or nothing like that, but that's because I believe in you guys, though.
I just think that's important, though, for anyone to know is that you didn't bribe us to come. You didn't bribe you didn't bribe us to come do this video. Like, we're all here because we wanted to be here. And I'm sure all of us went into the boot camp with a little bit of like this, man, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm a little scared.
It's a healthy skepticism, man. I'll be
exactly.
honest. I look at this as like Symmetry. Man, it's just a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone did. I looked it up before I did my interview. I'm like, okay, we're going to see what this guy's all about because this isn't real. But a pyramid scheme, I actually looked it up earlier just to tell another friend of mine like how it's not. A pyramid scheme is when you get paid a ton of money for recruiting and you're not actually selling a product.
The people at the bottom never make any money. That's exactly. A pyramid scheme. Even the people that you bring on, you still get rewarded even if they pass you up.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's why it's not.
There's nothing like
MLM scheme, none of that.
Yeah, you don't get paid a lump sum for recruiting someone that if they quit, who cares? You get paid off of the business that you write and the work that you put in for yourself.
Sticks around because no one likes chargebacks.
Exactly.
But I would still rather take a couple chargebacks a year than ever have a boss again. But most people hear 100% commission and they get scared. Like, why would you not want 100% of what you're worth?
Like, that's what you want that's what you want. You don't want a salary to limit your earning.
You're telling me I'm worth $21.75 an hour?
Yeah, you get paid worth, man.
Well, what the hell is that? Then you start having to trade time for money.
That's employee.
That car stops costing $350 a month and it starts costing you 16 hours of your life.
Yeah.
That's what you got to realize. Here you get to move in the cash flow quadrant from employee to a business owner to an investor, and you basically let time make money for you. You let your money make money. That's what you get to do here.
A huge thing is always like one of the quotes. There's so many that it's hard to, or I got to go through and organize all these and put them on my computer so I can like access them in the right order. But something someone said was basically, you're 100% responsible for your life situation all the time. And until you finally break out from that, like, employee, and not just employee, but just subordinate mentality where someone's always in charge of you. Someone always is telling you what to do. And if something goes wrong, it's always someone else's fault. And when you kind of like delete that all out of your system and start fresh and just kind of absorb new perspectives and tell yourself, the only reason I'm here right now is because of me. No one else made me do anything that I did. You did it all yourself. And yeah, just being able to be responsible for your personal situation is huge.
You're absolutely right. So is it a healthy agreement between the five of us that going to in-person kind of training events, just in general, is pretty much a non-negotiable if you're serious about
100%.
business
Oh,
owner?
absolutely.
There's
If you're,
only positive.
if you're serious about it, then there should be no reason as a new agent that you don't go.
Once you're
And
done with it,
here's
you
what a
won't
lot of
have
people
any
won't
regrets.
realize. Here's what a lot of people won't realize. Whatever if whatever you're doing is not making you happy, then clearly whatever you've been doing is not working very well, or you wouldn't be here in the first place. We were all unhappy with jobs enough to come here, right?
Yep.
That's what a lot of people got to realize. Like, clearly whatever you're doing right now isn't making you happy. It isn't working. So you kind of cannot, you can't afford to not go.
Yeah.
Stealing
Like,
from your going,
if
man.
you're already in debt, what's an extra plane ticket gonna do? But what does it hurt to take a chance on yourself?
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, I'm betting on myself rather than whoever's trying to put a price tag on what I'm worth an hour. That shit don't make any sense. $20 an hour. That's what, an undervaluation.
Yeah.
I would bet on myself every single time.
100%.
I'm glad you said that about like kind of taking a chance on yourself, because what I knew at some point, like I didn't have a laptop, and I knew at some point I need a computer with a camera or just a laptop, whatever. I need it to run this business. I can't do it without one unless I'm running everything off my phone. That's just not efficient. I don't think that's gonna work. You know, I figured at one point I needed a laptop, and I was in my pre-licensing, and I was like, okay, well, you can't write any business yet. You can't do any of that. So just, once you pass your test and get your license and confirm that you're kind of like in this, then you can go get the laptop at that point. And I realized 5 minutes later, if I wait until then, what if I don't pass my test? Then what? Am I going to quit altogether? And I told myself, go get the laptop right now, and just then you have a choice. Then you have to pass your test. Then you have to keep moving forward. You can't make any excuses like, I failed my test, but I still got this other job, so this isn't for me. I went out and bought that laptop that day, and when I came home, I had this feeling. I know that I'm not turning around now. Like, and one more thing, and I'll stop because I've been talking a lot. But I've had probably 4 or 5 different hard hats throughout my career because I would go to different contractors and they always supply you with one or whatever. And then once you get to the next level, you kind of buy your own and customize it, all that stuff. And I had this hard hat that was sitting on my floor for months since I got laid off. And I kept looking at it every day, and I'm like, man, I kind of wonder like what's in store for my future, because that's my life. It has been for the past 6 years. And it was the day before we went to Nashville. I was cleaning up my room, getting my clothes together, getting ready to go. And I walked past this hard hat, and I'm like, you know what? I pick it up, I bust a nail in the wall, and I hung it up. And I said, that's not me anymore. It was like that point I broke away from something that it was like a weight is lifted, because I was holding on to it for so long. I don't know what I'm going to do with my future. I'm uncertain. And that was because I had 2 options. I had a plan B if plan A didn't work out. So I took that option away from myself, and I made it so that 100% of my commitment and my time is in one thing, rather than mentally trying to tear myself in either direction, because that was just never going to be efficient. It was never going to work. So I literally, figuratively, all of it, I hung the hat up and I just said goodbye to it, and it was great. It was a great feeling to do that. And then to go to the boot camp solidified it times 10, so it was huge.
No, that's awesome. I really like what you said, dude. I'm glad you realized not burning all the other ships when you sail out, having that ship back home to always fall back on. It's actually pretty hurtful, pretty detrimental to your business. You're always looking for that easy escape. So I'm really glad you guys all had a good experience, and hope to see you guys keep going to those. But it's up to each one of you individually to make that commitment.
That's right.
I just want to say I'm pretty proud of you guys for making that commitment to go. I know a lot of you traveled pretty much across the US to go, except Colin, you just made a hop, skip, and a jump down.
The
some
drive to the
tape runs.
airport was longer than the flight.
Everyone else had some like camel rides, mountain climbs, and a couple genie rubs away.
Yep.
So are you guys ready for a conference in February then?
Oh my God, yes.
Are you guys all committed to that?
Absolutely. I already got
buy
my ticket.
I kind of forgot about that. I gotta buy my ticket.
Yeah, me
But
too.
You can do it tonight. I want to do it.
You guys will
tonight,
just
so
get
I
that
don't
from me
forget.
because I have them discounted. I have the owner's packs, so
How many do you have left? You have plenty.
yeah, for y'all.
Because I do, I've been kind of doing a little warm market recruiting and talking to everyone.
No, you're good, man.
I don't even talk to them really that much about Symmetry as like, here's what we do. I just kind of say like, look at what it's done. Like I'm talking to my friends. I'm like, look at where I was a few months ago and then look at me now. I'm not saying like financially, I just like look at who I am as a person and how I act and the things I do. Like I'm not the guy I was a few months ago. I wasn't the guy I was a week ago. So
This is a self-development company that just happens to have life insurance products. That's all I can really say. But I appreciate you guys all coming on here. Any of you got any like last minute statements? No Colin rants, but
yeah, I can't stop talking, dude. You
you're
guys.
good. Hey, no, I like it, man. I'll have to get you on stage somewhere. That's good.
Oh, I love it, man. Let's do it.
Do any you guys have any closing statements?
I just think for new people interested in it, if you don't go to these in-person meetings, there's a disconnect, man. There's an energy you feel and there's motivation and there's a fire that they light inside you for Symmetry. It's not a job, man. It's a lifestyle, man. You got to go for it. You got to go.
I think because you're putting this on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it'll go
So
on.
I think if like for me, when I watched your videos for any agent or for anybody who's thinking of starting or agents who are already started and they're struggling or whatever, I think the whole thing that the best thing that I could say is what can you really lose? What's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah, because none of you guys have any like sales experience or
No.
we're all pretty much blue collars, construction, something jobs like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's like what do you have to lose? Would you rather bet on yourself or bet on your next boss?
Like you're gonna keep making your factory owner rich and richer while you're so grateful for your benefits.
Right.
Your 401k that you work 40 years for to live off 40% of your income sounds like a fair trade. It's part of the job. Thank you. Tristan, you got any closing statement, buddy, before we hop off here?
If you have any doubts, big or small, buy the plane ticket. And I promise you by the end of it, they will be gone. I promise you.
Hey, well, thanks guys for coming on here. This would
Of course.
get rid of any doubts. I'll
Yes,
give you
sir.
guys each a Doge coin or something for doing
Oh,
this.
I was hoping for a T-shirt.
I'll make you guys some
black
t-shirts.
one.
Don't worry. I'll get you
Make
guys
some different
t-shirts.
colors, man.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Yep.
thanks.
Thank
man.
you.